Yeah, hello and welcome to this video. This is a new 2510 game and I'm playing an international master here, Panman. It's not... Okay, you don't see it here, but not a high rating for an IM, but he's probably new at this time control. So you cannot really tell much from the rating. Okay, it's going for the Ponziani. Was there a name, by the way? No. E Pandavos. Pandavos. Okay. Yeah, and he plays a line that is supposed to be unplayable for white due to this and Queen G5. But it is a very, very sharp line and notoriously tricky. This is the kind of thing that, if you, theoretically speaking, if you could use a computer, you would win 100% of the time with black.
Check.
But this is not the case. We still have to play ourselves.
Check.
Okay. How on earth is this played? Okay, I only have two moves. Is it King E7 or is it King to D8? Okay. I think it is actually King D8, if I'm not mistaken. Let's think about it. So my queen is attacking his rook. There's always bishop h3. King d8. Okay, taking on a8. I will grab the rook. That won't work. I think it is d8. This is what I'm remembering at least. Yeah, and now bishop h3, if I'm not mistaken, giving him the rook with a check. But anyway,
check.
So this. It's pretty cheeky to play that. As I said, it's just losing for white, or clearly worse. But you have to still play this wacky position if you don't remember the details, which you of course don't. Never look at this stuff. Yeah, he has to go King D1 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Check.
Grabbing this stuff. And now I think it is f6, but cannot really remember. Of course, it's a big mess. Huh? We have. Is it f6? Pooh. So f6. I'm attacking his knight. Doesn't have any great squares to go to. Knight c6 check, king f7 is completely fine. He does not have any big development going for him. I don't really see what he's doing after f6. Yeah, let's. Oops, sorry, it was the mouse wheel. I think it is f6. Ideally, you still know this stuff and don't have to find it over the board. But well, it has been a while. I mean, I've done this in a video series. If you want to want to know exactly how this is refuted, you can. I mean, maybe I'm managing in the actual game here, but you could actually look it up in my video series that I've done, the E4, E5 repertoire, where I recommend this line. But I produced that, I mean, I don't know, roughly it was 2 years ago or something like that. So I don't really remember. But after f6, I don't really know what white is supposed to do. It's a bit strange that he's thinking about it. I mean, maybe he just wanted to try something else, something that he also is not really really knowing, just trying for something creative. But well, it really isn't any good. Is he having? He doesn't have any checks here in this. Okay, knight c6, but knight c6. I just go to f7. If I go to f7, knight d8 check. Yeah, okay, I can go to g6 as queen e4 check is bishop f5. Phew. Yeah, I absolutely don't remember how it is continued. I have no idea. Instead of f6, I probably also had other moves. Maybe bishop f5, or that also makes a great deal of sense. But I don't see a move for white here anyway. I mean, what is he doing? b3 maybe. That could be a problem. b3 actually. I have a bad hunch that b3 is good for him. Oh my god, that could be very, very painful. Phew, yeah, b3 is probably good, huh? b3, I take the knight. I should have thought about f6. I was trying to remember, and I thought f6 is right. But b3, I take the knight, bishop a3 check, king to d7. Yeah. No, that is not. He can actually go to b2, yeah, with his bloody king and be safe. Yeah, if he finds b3, and this is not rocket science, I'm probably toast. Damn. So f6 was wrong. Phew. Wow. Oh, that's awful, losing against this rubbish. If black plays it right, he's winning. It's not just bad or anything, it's just winning. I thought it is f6. Yeah. One issue is of this f6 move is that I cannot step out with the king. Sometimes king f6 could be an idea. Anyway, if he goes b3, can I still fight somehow? I take it, bishop a3 check. Yeah, maybe I can take bishop a3 check, king f7, queen f8 check, king to g6. And this is kind of continuing this position, this game. I mean, it is pretty rubbish, yeah, compared to what this should be, but it's hard to not take on e5 actually. On b3. If I take bishop a3, king f7, takes on d8 with the queen, king g6. He also has queen e8 check. I don't have a good square. Well, I can go to h6, huh? Can probably do that. Okay. Whew, that was close. Whew, I think b3 was terrible for me. Okay. Now the game continues. Okay. So, of course, I can just take the knight. And probably that's what I should do, I guess. Yeah. Tough to not take. He's threatening tons of discoveries. What else is there? So I also see no reason to not take it. So going here, I'm fairly safe, I thought. Or is there something else? I think this is good. My bishop on h3 is protected by the queen. And I mean, I'm a piece up, huh? Piece up for 2 pawns at the moment. Okay, he can take c7, but this is just developing me. Bishop e7. And I'm threatening bishop f5 in some situations if the queen is moving away from e5. Yeah, that looks good. That should be really, really okay for me. Wow. That f6 was bad, right? Yeah, anyway, I don't even need to look it up afterwards. I just have to switch on the comp. Will probably show how it works. I forgot about b3. Yeah, anyway, so here, does white have something? My plan is easy. Knight f6, bishop d6, and white resigns. So he has to do something quickly here. I don't know what. Queen d5, I have bishop e6. Queen h5 check, this g6. And yeah, some developing move. I mean, white has no development whatsoever. d4, I'm probably just playing bishop d6, yeah. Yeah, bishop d6, queen h5, g6, queen a3 check, this bishop f5 check. And I'm starting to unravel. I have no direct threat at this particular moment, so white can play a slowish move like d4 or something like that. Thing is, I don't see anything that remotely threatens something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in many cases, I can also just take stuff. I mean, on d4, for example, there is quite... I mean, there's no reason not to take f2, for example. Even though I will probably play bishop b6 and
check.
Get things developed. Yeah, okay, g6. Yeah, well, I think that rather helped me. Allowing bishop f5.
Check.
Okay.
Check.
That counter check was okay, I guess. So just knight f6 or anything special here? Yeah, it looks very natural. Get this out. Knight d2. I can also just play queen to h3 with the piece up. Trading queens is not bad. I mean, I would like to play for checkmate here somehow with my extra material, but if it is not apparent how that works, I'm going to win the endgame. Yeah, hard for him to avoid the queen trade now. Yeah, he had precisely one opportunity in the game. That was this b3 moment. And after that, I don't know. That looks pretty bad. Yeah, that's a bit late now. He has to trade, I guess. At least I don't see how he avoids it. Can try to, I mean, can take on h3 or let me take on f3. Aha, okay, that's true. That's actually true. I didn't really had this on the radar. This is a move. Okay, bishop d6 looks very normal. Knight e4 is probably the reply. Knight e4. It's no good way to prevent that. Okay, he has a check actually. Bishop d6, knight e4. I was thinking bishop takes, f takes, rook e8. He's got queen c4 check, even though what is the big deal? Okay, let's develop. Can also just take h2. Yeah, so taking with the knight. Yeah, it doesn't look so promising. So I'm going to take with the bishop. And now let's see, can I force the trades here? Rook e8, I guess. attacking e4 and f3. On f3 I'll just grab h2. And queen c4 check. There's queen to e6. Yeah, those ancient lines that are essentially losing, they can be tricky to handle, because you check them once and then you never get it on the board, never. And next time someone plays it against you, you have forgotten how to refute it. And this is especially problematic in blitz chess, or sometimes in rapid, when you sit there, have limited time, you know you're winning or you have a good position, but you cannot directly remember how the refutation was, and figuring it out over the board is so often tricky, as we have seen. I probably played f6 a little bit too quickly. I wasn't really sure. I was kind of thinking, okay, I remembered that this is right, but it was a wrong recollection. Yeah, okay, he's dragging this on here. Bishop e3, a6. Don't want to give him any material. It's a piece for a pawn. Yeah, the how to do this efficiently. Yeah, okay, he will try b4, a4, b5, something like that. I definitely want to get the h pawn going, so let's start with this right away. That outside passer should be the trump card that wins, and this has no relation to Donald Trump. It's really meant as an asset. Okay, so c4. If you go bishop e5 now, rook h1 maybe. And bishop e5, this may be f4 in some cases. What is the best way to do this here? Yeah, maybe still back. Gain the tempo. Rook h8, rook h1, rook h8, and then advance the pawn. Oh, after f4, bishop d6, e5 is actually a fork. I really should pay more attention. Okay, rook h8, f4, I have knight g4. That's actually a pretty clean win, so okay, let's do that. I have to be a little bit more alert here. It's a typical problem in my play. If I'm completely winning, I tend to relax and feel like, okay, the job's done, but you still have to make sure not to stumble into some stupid tricks or simply underestimate some kind of resource. Yeah, maybe I should have used my extra piece here to simply kill off anything on the queen side. Instead of pushing the h-pawn, but it still should be fairly clear. Yeah, I'm expecting b5, trying to get a passer. Yeah, somehow seems he searching for something else. Even though that looks like fairly good for white compared to other things. b5, ab, cb. At least the a pawn might be a threat. I go rook a8 then. King b3. Yeah, it's not, I mean, it should be a win somehow, but it's not totally conclusive. If he goes b5, I take it. a8 takes, c takes. Okay, after rook a8, king b3, at least he's not able to advance this quickly, but also my h-pawn is not making any progress with the rook on a8. Nah, that wasn't very good technical play. So b5 takes, c takes. Is there anything else that I can do? If I really use the pawn, yeah, well, I'm coming up all the way to h2, but then what? Yeah. I also feel that my knight is not really great. Maybe after b5 I can relocate the knight somewhere else. Yeah, but where? I mean, e6 would be good, but that takes ages. Isn't completely easy. Maybe after b5 takes, a takes, rook a8, king b3, bishop g3 to fortify that pawn, and then see that I can get my knight improved. Knight d7 later or so. Yeah, I don't like that much. I think I played this badly. Pushing the h pawn was a bad idea. I should have just made sure that nothing happens on the queen side. Keep it on h7 and get knight and bishop to play against the pawns. That would have been technically much better. I'm kind of stunned why he's taking ages here. Why not just b5? I mean, is there anything else? You can try a5, for example. a5, and then b5. f4. f4, that's just knight g4. That's totally awful. Yeah, so he went b5 at the end. Okay, is there some reason why I shouldn't take? No, probably not. Allowing him to take is pretty weird idea. So okay, I'm going to take it. After c takes, rook a8, rook h4, rook a4. He doesn't have f4. That's good. So after rook a8 here, rook a8, he has to go king b3. That's quite clear. Bishop g3. Maybe bishop g5. And when I don't have 6, is really not a good piece. I wonder, can I do something specific against him going a5? I mean, I can start with bishop g3, just keeping this covered. If he goes a5, I also have rook b8. That would trade another pawn. Yeah. Come on, let's do that. I don't want to take a million years here. My technical play before that probably wasn't ideal, but it still should win. The worst that can probably happen here is bishop knight checkmate, which I've done once before in a 25-10 game. Yeah, I mean a5, b6. Really, any other moves? One problem for him is if whenever he tries to use the rook with rook b1 or something, then the h pawn will actually move. It's not so easy to do. Okay, so I was thinking knight d7. I need to really do something with my knight. Knight to e5, for example. I mean, it still takes a while until one of his pawns do something serious here. Okay, well here I have rook b8. King c4, that's knight e5 check. And then grabbing the f3 pawn. Okay. Or is he check somehow? Rook b8, king c4. Can also go king e6. Yeah, that's okay. King e6 to prevent any king d5 stuff. Okay, so let's try to take things. Trying to take the f3 pawn. f4. Knight c4 is also a move for a possible knight to d6, which attacks e4 and b5. Yeah, I guess a6 probably. Like I'm not actually attacking f3. It's just seeing that because of the pin. That's bad. So, okay, if I go king to e6, bishop h4, rook h8, and a6, is that no, I have knight to d7. Oh yeah, the a pawn, that's still kind of dangerous. Still, come on. King e6 here. Bishop h4, rook h8. What then? a6? It's 97. Nah, bishop g3, rook h1, bishop c7. It seems, hey, he's got 2 pawns there. I'd like to play it without any of those kind of strange complications. Yeah, it's maybe difficult to play it without. Okay. F4, maybe F4, but knight F3. I don't really see this leading to anything. For white, I mean. Yeah, he has to go bishop h4. Bishop h4, rook h8, bishop g3, something like that, or a6. Trying to give up that bishop and hope for the a pawn. Any other moves? Yeah, so okay, the only alternative for me here would be to take h4, take f3, but yeah, this I yeah, rook h8. Here we go. That one, okay. This is going f4. Yeah, okay, I have no choice anyway, so let's take it. And now knight to d7 or to c4. Or is there a way to play it differently? Bishop f2 is also a move. I'm just wondering if I can somehow return one piece to make the whole thing easier to play. That sometimes that could be an idea. Don't see how though. And okay, 2 pieces are better than 1. So the knight probably wants to go to d7. Yeah, knight wants to go to d7. Come on. Should be there to help stop the a pawn. Okay, King e7. There's the check. I don't. Oh. Yeah, but okay, it's actually not so bad. King e7 to go to d8. Okay, King f7 comes with the tempo. This is certainly nice. Yep, rook c6 is bishop e7. And if he takes on c7, I have knight c5 check. The only issue is that he's really got lots of pawns. I mean, a lot of pawns. Bishop e7, rook takes. Knight c5. Well, he can sack the rook for 4 pawns for madness. Bishop e7, rook c7, rook h3 is threatening mate. But he's got b6. And I don't mate him somehow. Really don't. Yeah, bishop e7, rook c7, knight c5 check, rook c5, bishop c5, b6. b6. And then rook on the first rank. Hey, it should win. Come on. It's rook and bishop against 4 pawns. And f and e pawn, I mean, not that they're completely harmless, but they don't feel that dangerous at the moment. My threat here is rook h3. I think that would happen if he goes a6, for example. Not that, okay, a6 is harmless anyway. Yeah, it's amazing that it kind of gotten interesting again. He has to grab c7 here, I think. Okay. Yeah, rook h3, yeah. How is he dealing with the mate? Okay, king moves don't do it, and b6 is just giving me stuff. Okay, that's it, I guess. It's a very important part of endgames, mating attacks. Surprisingly often, this is a decisive factor that you can operate with checkmate threats and tricks. And this is enormously helping me here. He had to take on c7 with the rook. b6 is the only move to prevent the immediate mate, I think. And this is not exactly helpful. Okay, so taking it with the knight. King to b5, rook b3 check. Yeah. Or not. Check, check. Check there. Can go back. Yeah, that I mean. Okay, if I take with the pawn, I'm threatening to win the a pawn. Rook c7. Yeah, it also should win. But if I take with the knight, we can check on a3, on b3. King a5, bishop b4 check. King b5. Bishop c3 check. It doesn't seem to be a mate somewhere. Can go back to d6 with a check. King a5. Check. King. I don't have a mate. Unfortunately enough. Yeah. Okay, if I check on a3 first, is this making any kind of difference? Check on a3, king b5, rook b3 check. I have a check on b4. That's actually pretty good. Let's do this.
Check.
Nothing else, right? No, but this check is good.
Check.
Rook a5 I can take on b6 with check. Yeah, and here rook b4 check. No, it isn't actually that convincing. I actually thought it is even better. I overlooked that after rook takes b6, it can actually take take c7. Okay.
Check.
Yeah, king c3, rook b6, but he can take c7, and it still continues. Okay, if I take b6 with the pawn, e5 maybe. Okay, if we check rook b6 again, my trade knight takes and still continue this game. I take with the a pawn. Rook c7 is actually a little bit annoying. I should have just taken on b6 with the pawn. Why did I give that bloody check? Really playing this in a pretty stupid way here. This I can do though, right? e7. Yeah, if I take with the pawn, he has rook c7. This is really, really annoying. If I move the knight, he takes on e7 and takes my rook, which is really, really awful. Yeah, okay, come on. Let's play a move here. Okay. Can take e4 now. a7. Rook a4. Rook e4, a7, rook a4. It should really do it, right? a7, there's also 95 check, so that's not going to work. I have to really get both pawns. Rook and minor piece against rook, unfortunately, is a draw. Okay, now the check and then rook to the a file. Check here. No, 95 is good.
Check.
Knight b4 was possible, but I think I just win the pawn like that. And f4 is also hanging. Threat is knight b4. So let's grab this. We probably will get bishop and knight mate again. it doesn't happen often, but it seems to happen here again. Okay, then knight e7 and rook a5 to attack it.
Check.
Okay, so let's do this again. Yeah, we have to mate him in this corner here on a1. Have to push the king back first. Let's see, knight has to be on the square of the color complex of the bishop. So let's do it like this.
Check.
Still have some time. It's not we're not in a rush here. The 50 moves here are pretty comfortable. Okay, where to go now? I think we can do it like that. Yeah, and we're approaching the starting position of the famous W maneuver.
Check.
It's the check. It's a check, right? I think I have to play a tempo move here.
Check.
Most important is the start of it. The rest you can normally work out later.
Check.
This one. Tempo move.
Check. Checkmate.
And mate. Yeah, that wasn't wasn't the best technical performance ever, but at the end it was enough. It was this endgame started on move 54, and it took about 30 moves, so you still have some kind of yeah, you have enough time, let's say, in terms of 50 moves to mate with bishop and knight. So let's have a couple of things checked here. Yeah, here bishop b5. This is a really bad move. It's just the only way to describe it. The only way to play this opening is queen a4, after which black has two main ideas. Can go f6 or bishop d7. f6 is the stronger move of the two, I think. And here white has to be content with playing something like d3. And yeah, here black has equalized quite comfortably. Okay, but he went with this, which is absolutely not playable. Queen a4 takes.
Check. Check.
King d8 is right. This.
Check.
This is pretty
Check.
much forced. I mean, it's something that I have analyzed in my video series, the Black Repertoire. So something to check there. If you want to look at the details up to here, yeah, there is not much that white can do that makes any sense. Okay, and the engine gives bishop f5 and white resigns. Yeah, so this was the thing, and I feel like I made this mistake before with f6. Probably made this before this mistake. Yeah, okay, this seems to win. Yeah, it is known as winning for black, so that's not a surprise. So what is the thing? The bishop is lining up here, and if white goes b3 now, I can check d3 and e2. This is at least what Stockfish is giving here. I mean, this is a big mess, but it's also a pretty big pawn.
Check.
That's very important. I can escape to f6. Yeah, the e-pawn decides clearly. This is what the engine is giving as relatively best. Still using, I have to get in Stockfish 7 here. I still use the old version.
Check.
Check, and queens. What a funny position. But I mean, I'm a piece up. Yeah, so bishop f5. This was the best. This is also given by the computer. What is happening here?
Check.
This, for example, here.
Check.
Wow. What if that's a crazy line. I mean, black is much better, but it is completely crazy. What is actually... Let me do one thing. I'm back in a second. Okay, I've gotten that book by Mr. Bologan. I'm going to look that up now. Where is that? That's the King's Gambit. Where is the Ponziani? 161. So let's see. I think he also gives bishop f5. I've made my videos there before that book was released, but I checked this. He has absolutely the same lines. Yeah, bishop f5. He doesn't give queen c6 though. Queen d5 and knight a3, both with the black win. Oh, knight a3, there's f6. But you have to go bishop f5 first. Huh? Yeah, okay. So bishop f5 it was. I went f6 and now b3 is winning for white. Yeah, of course. Stupid. And he took 6 minutes and didn't find the move. Actually, I mean, what am I doing after that? Yeah, this is the line that I was giving during the game.
Check.
This is what I would have done. I mean, I had to, but it looks pretty terrible. He actually is relatively safe with the king. And something like this. Trying king b2, knight a3 later. White wins. White just wins. Really idiotic, yeah. How long did I take for f6? About a minute. Yeah, I should have really just played the position and not try to remember stuff. Because when you can, bishop f5 is not exactly rocket science, this move. And b3 is a threat. I mean, wow, that was a dodged bullet. Okay, queen d5. Yeah, and now I'm winning.
Check.
Even though I made it
Check.
far more difficult than necessary, I guess. Bishop h6 is given as better by the engine. Yeah, but okay, this is not something that where I question myself too much. It's a pretty winning ending that I played in a pretty I don't know. It felt unconvincing to me. The computer is always on -3 here, so maybe I'm not completely screwing it up. Yeah, -3 all the way. It seems I didn't screw it up completely, but I had a bad feeling about some things here. Rook h8. Yeah, this was. I thought that this was still. I mean, I'm sorry. I thought a6 actually. Like take and. Yeah, try something like that, but okay, it's probably not working anyway. f4, knight f3, and I can still stop the pawns. Yeah, during the game you get irritated.
Check.
Bishop e7 is good. a6, yeah. I was thinking that this is more interesting.
Check.
This and now take, but it still shouldn't work. I mean. Rook b8, and something like this, and the pawns cannot move. Yeah, okay, that is a win. I thought something like that, yeah. I was thinking maybe here, that should also win. Doing the same job with the rook from the back. And here, this was stupid. This was definitely stupid. I should have won far more easily here.
Check.
So this is winning. And this is
Check.
what I wanted to do originally. But here there's a mate that I didn't find. Okay.
Check.
So check. I found that one.
Check. Check.
This is mate.
Checkmate.
That's cute. Yeah, I didn't see that mate. I calculated up to here and I was thinking check back and here, well, it might win whatsoever, but whatever. But I didn't see a mate.
Check.
And then I miscalculated this a little bit. I was thinking to take with a pawn, but I'm sorry. King c4. Oops. King c4 check and taking with the pawn, and this is actually not that good. I cannot move the knight, yeah, and if I go here, he's checking me, and all of a sudden we repeat. Yeah, or a7 even, I don't know. Wow. Yeah, that was a pretty bad misjudgment, so I ultimately had to settle for knight takes, which does win, but the mate would have been somewhat quicker, of course. Yeah, and now I'm happy with that endgame. I've covered this more than once on the channel, but what people sometimes have problems with is actually not doing the winning mating sequence at the end, but to get the king on the edge of the board. The thing to remember there is that knight and bishop should always be on the same color, because with that the knight is actually controlling light squares like this, and it's unpainted there, light squares, and the bishop is controlling dark squares. So they do a proper job sharing and manage to, with the king together, push the king back. This is what I'm trying here. The knight goes back on that square. Now I'm just trying to push him slowly backwards. Yeah, if he would have gone here, there's knight f7, check, king e4, and then he has to go to the edge of the board. Yeah, and here we are nearing the famous W maneuver. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a tough game with that moment of b3 where he could have killed me. Yeah, I should have thought there, not just trying to play something from memory that I really didn't remember. It was kind of on feeling, and not a good idea. You can certainly calculate this a little bit and see b3. I did see it. I mean, after playing f6, which is definitely one half move too late. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the game. Thanks for watching.